Oh, my friends, I did not expect to bring you a Christmas story today, but nonetheless, the Grinch that tried to steal Christmas, well, he just got his just desserts now, didn't he? In this case of Jack Smith versus Donald J. Trump, United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, we've been covering turn by turn, all coming off the major indictment by Special Counsel Jack Smith, but it's what happened afterwards and what was just announced by the Supreme Court that changes everything. Major story here. As you know, we've covered the petition for writ of certiorari going in, and what it asks is whether a former president is absolutely immune from federal prosecution for crimes committed while in office or is constitutionally protected from federal prosecution when he has been impeached but not convicted, well, not by the Senate, before the criminal proceedings begin. The question that Jack Smith tried to accelerate through the Supreme Court, as Jonathan Turley states here, Special Counsel Jack Smith is now seeking, was seeking, to leapfrog the appellate court and ask for a ruling from the Supreme Court on Trump's immunity claims. The only reason for this petition is to seek to guarantee a trial of Trump before the election. Well, now that house of cards just crumbled. But why would they want due process for Trump? The matter is currently before the D.C. Circuit, which is viewed as a favorable court for Smith. Then why wouldn't Smith want it to go there? Because it's all about timing, and bigger timing than just before Super Tuesday. It's much bigger than that. This new legal argument that the court would ordinarily prefer to hear the views from the appellate judges, and lo and behold, although Jack Smith tried feverishly to make sure he was able to rush things through, lo and behold, it happened right here. The Supreme Court handed Trump a Christmas gift. A Christmas gift of certiorari denied. Friday, December 22nd, 2023. Merry Christmas, Donald Trump. The Supreme Court just handed you everything you wanted. And today I'm going to cover why the mainstream media won't admit that is such a monstrous loss of such magnitude that they may now never recover from this. That's the story we're going to bring you today. Huge favor. Before we move forward, can't believe we have to do this every video, but it appears we do, because the more comments that appear below that said, I thought I was subscribed to Lisa, I thought I was subscribed to you, well, lo and behold, they weren't, so I need you to look below. Just make sure you are still subscribed. It should be a question we never have to ask. Make sure your bell is checked to all so you're actually alerted to upcoming broadcasts. Lisa absolutely adores every one of you, and it's important to her that you get all these messages. So again, make sure you're subscribed. If you do me a huge favor, because you know we flip-flop back and forth, make sure you subscribe to my channel. She'll put it just above, right there. Just click on it. It takes a second. Or if you want to find us, no matter where we broadcast, we created the one platform for you, and she's just going to put out a monster offer for you today. That platform is restrictedrepublic.com. And now she did a whole new promotion. Look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? 36-year. The number 3. The number 6. YEAR is going to get you, that's right, $36 a year. What a subscription offer that is. That is limited time. That is our holiday gift to you. What's that equal? $3 a month? That is less than the price of a cup of coffee in a lot of places nowadays. So if you have a moment, and if you wouldn't mind buying us a cup of coffee, and in return, we're going to give you all the headlines that matter, the things that can't be talked about anymore. We're going to give you the stories you've been looking for, the things you've been missing, and it will keep you informed, because moving into next year, man, the moving parts is going to take a ton of effort, a ton of work to keep up with, and we're going to do that for you. That is restrictedrepublic.com. Discount code number 3, number 6, YEAR at annual checkout. Put that in, and we can't wait to see you there. By the way, 14 days for free. But now let's get back to this broadcast. Whoa, good morning. It's a good story, actually. Judge Chutkan, Donald Trump, kind of all starts here a little bit, doesn't it? Because it's what Donald Trump asked for as a portion of that case. The United States has charged Donald J. Trump with 4 counts of criminal conduct that he allegedly committed during the waning days of his presidency. Waning days of his presidency while in office. Kind of a key. He has moved to dismiss the charges against him based on presidential immunity and on constitutional grounds. For the reasons set forth below, the court will deny both motions. Which court was that? Tanya Chutkan. And hence, this suddenly gets kicked up to what would normally be the D.C. Appellate Court, but no. Jack Smith decides he wants something different. That would simply take too long. Because that ruling by Judge Chutkan got appealed. Of course it did. Because she stated a former president's exposure to federal criminal liability is essential to fulfilling our constitutional promise of equal justice under the law. If you were concerned about the law, and Jack Smith was concerned about the law, when we won't even go into the legitimacy of his position overall, which we did, and I'm going to show you in a second, the video you can't afford to miss. It's almost near 60,000 views right now because that's how important the information was. This video right here is the one you need to get to. Don't miss this. Because the actual overall legitimacy of Jack Smith in the first place, which we were days ahead of the mainstream media on this, of course we were. If you haven't watched it yet, see what tens of thousands now, almost 60,000 people watched and viewed. That's how important this story was. So Trump seeks to halt everything. Halt the D.C. criminal case. But why? The former president's lawyer said all proceedings should be paused while Trump appeals a ruling on his immunity claim. Tanya Chutkan says no. He says, nope, I'm immune. We're going to kick this up to the appeals court. Jack Smith takes it and tries to leapfrog up to the Supreme Court. Trump contending that the U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan no longer has power over the case. While he appeals her ruling, he is not wrong. And if you see any proceedings happen, they're going to be procedural. It won't be the trial itself until this is settled. From the charges he faces, a process that could take weeks or months. In the meantime, he said Chutkan must postpone all deadlines and cede her authority over the matter, citing political cost to President Trump and this country. If the case were to move forward, Trump's lawyer argued Thursday, that he's entitled to an automatic stay while he appeals her ruling from last week. That was then. Leapfrog forward to now. She goes ahead and puts everything on pause, even though the mainstream media didn't want to report that to you. People get confused over that. She really doesn't have the choice. Which springboards us forward to Smith versus Trump. And Jack Smith pleading, begging to the Supreme Court. There absolutely is a reason that we need to rush your decision. There's a reason I breached Trump's right to due process. It's really simple to understand. He stated a precedence about an old Nixon case. But Trump, surprising to most, says, no, you know what, Supreme Court, there ain't no need to rush. Just sit back, because I have a story to tell to the appellate courts. A lot were surprised by that, but Trump knows what he's doing. If they want to engage in lawfare, as he states, then he will engage in lawfare and delay until he's where? It's key to the story. That's why the Supreme Court pretty much just handed him the keys to the White House. I'm going to explain that in a second here. Trump's lawyers, his attorneys here, to the Supreme Court. Petitioner proposed question presented misstates the legal issue in this appeal by incorrectly framing it as whether absolute presidential immunity extends to crimes committed while in office. In the district court, the respondent, President Trump, asserted that a president is immune from prosecution for official acts. The question presented thus are, this is important, and it goes to the heart of the Supreme Court's ruling. Why did they hold off? Whether the doctrine of absolute presidential immunity includes immunity from criminal prosecution for a president's official acts, those performed within the outer perimeter of his official responsibility. Nixon versus Fitzgerald, told you. Old Nixon case. whether the impeachment judgment clause, U.S. Constitution, Article 1, 3, Clause 7, and principles of double jeopardy foreclose the criminal prosecution of a president who has been impeached and acquitted by the U.S. Senate. Double jeopardy. But that doesn't matter. The Department of Justice, of course, they say that that's not right. That's not true. Who cares if he was already tried for this? Who cares if he was already acquitted of it? We want to do it all over again. Then we got to go all the way down to Section 10. The case presents a fundamental question at the heart of our democracy, whether a president may be criminally prosecuted for his official acts. The paramount public importance of that question calls for it to be resolved in a cautious, deliberative manner, not fast, not accelerated as Jack Smith wanted done. Screaming to the Supreme Court, please give me my Christmas present. I wrote Santa a letter, I asked for it. He's going to deny me. Maybe he's going to give you a lump of coal in that sock. In 234 years of American history, no president ever faced criminal prosecution for his official acts until 19 days ago. No court had ever addressed whether immunity from such prosecution exists. To this day, no appellate court has addressed it. The Supreme Court obviously agrees with that, because by refusing, Trump urges Supreme Court to decline to fast-track dispute over immunity claim. Prosecutor fighting to make sure he hits that March 4th date. Supreme Court rejecting Jack Smith's request for justice to quickly hear Trump's immunity dispute. And Trump is handed an amazing Christmas gift by the Supreme Court. Them ultimately saying, even though not a word, so we can only guess, that they want to hear the ruling of the appellate court as they would normally do. There is a process. Jack Smith does not like that process because it is inconvenient to his endgame to accelerate everything, to assure that that March 4th date held, because that would place a potential conviction prior to the election. It's plain and simple. It's just the facts. But now the Supreme Court of the United States, way down here, let's find it where it is. Petition for writ of certiorari before judgment denied. Boom, boom. Merry Christmas, right? And so it goes back to where it belonged, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and it appears right here, Public Advisory, January 9th, 2024, oral arguments in number 23-3228, United States of America's versus Donald Trump. Posted yesterday, once the Supreme Court said, we're denying you, Jack. And so it ends up where it should have ended up. The problem for Jack Smith is now a matter of timing, because this could delay things well beyond where he had hoped they would be. The court decision is a major blow to Smith. Oh, wait now. Is that from CNN? Yeah, it is. Okay. Who made an extraordinary gamble when he asked the justices to take the rare step of skipping a federal appeals court and quickly deciding a fundamental issue in his election subversion criminal case against Donald J. Trump. Both sides will still have the option of appealing an eventual ruling by the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals up to the High Court, but the court's move is a major victory for Trump. Oh, that had to be so hard for CNN to state. Whose strategy of delay in the criminal case included mounting a protracted fight over the immunity question, which must be settled before his case can go to trial. Trump's interest, of course, pushing it to beyond when he is elected, because once he is elected, what will he do with all of this? Joy to the world, right? It's that simple. The real question is what happens then. CNN Supreme Court analyst and professor at University of Texas School of Law assumed the Court of Appeals rejects Trump's claim. Will it keep the trial on hold pending further review from the Supreme Court, or will it allow the trial to go forward and force Trump to seek a stay from the Supreme Court, which is more than likely to happen? But none of this works in Jack Smith's favor because it all takes time. And that is what is working against Jack Smith from day one, and it's why this is a monstrous Victory for Trump. A monstrosity of a loss for Jack Smith and the Department of Justice, because it may not even be solved in this term of the Supreme Court. Their docket already filling up. Will they take the case? Will the D.C. Circuit Court, the Circuit Court of Appeals, be able to push this through fast enough? This declination by the Supreme Court, a lot of people are now going to have a very Merry Christmas. Man, we love you all. We can't thank you enough for being here today. We truly appreciate everything that you do for us. We hope you'll continue to support us. We hope you'll continue to subscribe. We hope you'll continue to share the videos. We hope you'll continue to comment, because those are the things that keep everybody understanding that people are engaged in the discussion. And we need to remain engaged in this discussion, because it is one of the fundamentally largest, most paramount cases that exist and have ever existed in this great republic of the United States of America, where we have a process, we have a constitution, and we have to start winning more and more of that back. And until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.